Y'all, I just have to come on here and rant today about something that was shown to me on TikTok. And I know what you're thinking. What did we tell you? What did we tell you, Andrea? Stay off of that stupid app. All it does is show nonsense. Of course, yes, I know, but hold my hand, because what I saw today is just like, what is happening to society? So I get on the app, there's this viral video that was shown to me on my For You page of this guy with rubber bands around his ears, claiming that this is the latest beauty trend in Korea of putting rubber bands or hair ties around your ears in an effort to depuff your face. Is it just me? Has Korea become the new France in America? Meaning, like, we can just say that something is popular in Korea and all of a sudden it has this mystique and everybody wants to do it. It doesn't matter what it is, all of a sudden it just sounds a lot better and something that we must buy and have and own and possess or do to ourselves. And this is one example. I mean, don't get me wrong, Korean skincare, love it. If you're new here, I have a lot of reviews of amazing Korean skincare products. I love their sunscreens. I mean, I am team Korean skincare 100%, but not everything that the internet claims is like a popular Korean beauty trend is even a popular Korean beauty trend, first of all, let alone something that is necessarily worth reproducing, okay? Like, so be really discerning with those claims. Maybe this is something that people there are actually doing, but should you reproduce it? Heck no. Putting rubber bands around your ears is not a good idea. It's not going to slim or depuff your face, okay? Why do people believe that it's going to depuff the face? Well, they claim that it is sort of mimicking lymphatic massage. There's no evidence it's going to help. If anything, it can be harmful because you can cut off circulation to the delicate skin of your ears, cause skin irritation and problems. Waking up with a puffy face can be related to a number of things. It could be an underlying medical problem, something serious like a thyroid disorder or some other endocrinologic abnormality, or it could be an allergic reaction. So first and foremost, what is the cause of your facial puffiness, of facial swelling? Determining the root cause is always key, and that involves seeing a healthcare provider, not wrapping yourself up in rubber bands like an old newspaper. Most of the time, it's pretty normal to wake up with some degree of a puffy face. A lot of times it's related to fluid retention. Maybe you had a high salt meal the night before. It could also be related to how you slept, your sleep position. But the solutions to this common issue are very simple, very practical. So this whole wrapping rubber bands around your ears is not only ridiculous, but it's just like so unnecessary. So how can you depuff the face first thing in the morning? Well, you want to just get a cool compress and gently apply it to the skin. They sell those facial ice rollers you can put in the refrigerator and roll on the skin surface. It will help push that fluid accumulation out of the tissues, back to your heart, and depuff the face. And when it comes to fluid accumulation and puffiness, where it really shows up when you wake up is in under eye puffiness. And that actually can make it look as though you have dark under eye circles. Using a cool compress under the eyes or some cool hydrogel under eye patches can really depuff very quickly and just brighten up and rejuvenate the look of the skin under the eyes very quickly, because eyelid skin, you know, is very delicate, so it's more obvious when fluid accumulates there, but it's also more obvious when you get it to go away, so you get that gratification. Caffeine applied topically can also help constrict the blood vessels and help push some of that fluid away. It doesn't work for everyone, but some people respond really well to topical caffeine. Personally, I love using those hydrogel under eye patches. Are they medically necessary? Do you need to use these to depuff your face? Are they a must-have in your morning routine? Absolutely not. It's just something I enjoy using and personally find to be very effective at just depuffing the under eyes. And I cycle through different ones. I'm not brand loyal. Currently, I'm using those Dermatologist brand ones, the brightening under eye patches. They do have caffeine as well as a variety of other hydrating ingredients. I've been loving them. Pyeongkang Yul has these black tea hydrogel under eye patches that are also amazing. I'm thinking about using those again at some point. If you like it and it doesn't cause irritation, they definitely can be effective. If you store them in the refrigerator, apply the patches on to the under eye area, chill old, it will really maximize that depuffing effect. It's amazing. And you don't have to, necrose your ear skin. When choosing hydrogel eye patches, choose those that are free of essential oils or fragrance, because eyelid skin is very delicate and prone to irritation. So just be aware of that. The other thing that can make a huge difference in morning puffiness, aside from just cool compresses, is your sleep position. So if you are able to sleep with your head ever so slightly elevated, that will really help drain fluid back to your heart as you sleep and make it less likely that you wake up with a puffy face. Sleeping on your back can also be a game changer. I trained myself to sleep on my back years ago, and it has made a huge difference in the appearance of how my face looks when I wake up in the morning. I don't have that unilateral puffiness. I used to sleep on my side or on my stomach. I would wake up with puffiness on one side of my face related to sleeping on my stomach or my side, and now that I sleep on my back, I don't have that issue. And it also will be most obvious to you in the way that your under eye area looks, because again, the skin there is delicate. It's going to be more obvious when there's fluid accumulation, and it's going to be more obvious in terms of the benefit when that is reduced. Make sure you're staying hydrated and drinking fluids, water, because that can also make a difference in fluid retention. Now, people go overboard with this in their claims. They make it seem as though you're just one water bottle away from gloriously bouncy, dewy, wrinkle-free skin. And if only you had another glass of water in the day, you wouldn't look like such a wrinkled up prune. But truthfully, making sure you stay hydrated can make a huge difference on fluid retention. The other thing that is huge is the sodium in your diet. If you're somebody who has a salt shaker, you like to salt your food, you cook with salt, this is by and large more than fine. Where the sodium issue becomes a problem and where people run into problems, not just with looking puffy, but with high blood pressure. I mean, it's serious, and cutting back on it can have a huge impact on your health. Comes from processed, ready-made foods, canned soups, TV dinners, fast food, packaged snacks. Make sure your diet includes fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins. Try cooking for yourself rather than relying on ready-made meals, because the sodium content in those is very high, and here and there it's not a big deal, but it definitely can take a serious toll on your overall health. As a side note, it was recently unveiled that a trigger for atopic dermatitis might actually be a high sodium diet, because we know that sweat can be a trigger for atopic dermatitis, and it's thought that the salt load in the skin from a high salt diet can be a trigger for flares. So it's still in the early stages of uncovering what the association there really means. Suffice it to say, it does appear as though there is an association with high sodium diet and flares of stubborn eczema. Try and be more conservative with how much alcohol you drink, whether it be for the puffy face, but just to your health in general. Conservative with alcohol consumption means if you're a woman, stick to no more than 1 drink a day. If you're a man, no more than 2 drinks a day. Sorry, that's a fact. Men get another drink. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. And be really mindful of your alcohol portions. Here in the US, we have portion distortion. And so oftentimes a beverage is actually 2 servings of alcohol. So be really mindful of how much alcohol you are consuming. It takes a toll on your cardiovascular health, not to mention it impairs your neurologic function. You're more prone to accidents. A substantial chunk of deaths are actually related to alcohol consumption. So there's definitely a fine line between enjoying a glass of wine with a meal or having a beer here and there to celebrate something, or a mixed drink, and having alcohol be such a part of your daily life that you require it to relax, to unwind, and you feel on edge when you don't drink. I mean, those are warning signs that you really need to talk to somebody maybe about cutting back on your alcohol. It really can be very damaging. I believe that people can enjoy alcohol in moderation if they know what moderation is and they adhere strictly to moderation. That's the problem. Like I said, in the United States in particular, we have larger portions, and so that goes along with our alcoholic beverages, happy hours and things like that. It adds up. But if you can be really strict and restrict yourself to that moderate consumption of no more than 1 alcoholic beverage, 1 serving per day for women, no more than 2 servings per day for men, then I think there's no reason to advise against that. Completely abstaining 100% from alcohol, you're not going to get any arguments from me. I don't see any health risks associated with not drinking alcohol. There's no downside to not drinking alcohol. Drinking too much alcohol will show up on your face the next morning in the form of puffiness, more prominent permanent under eye bags. So all of this to say, like, there are very simple, straightforward interventions that cost you no money, well, with the exception of the hydrogel patches, but honestly, you could just use a cool washcloth and achieve a similar effect. There really is nothing that you should have to invest much in other than behavioral change in a lot of cases to make a difference in morning puffiness. Tying your ears up not only is not going to work, but it's just ridiculous and so unnecessary. I don't believe people in Korea are doing this. I think it is just made up to get clicks and views because somehow Korea has become the new France. You know, there's always this mystique about French people. Whatever they're doing, we must reproduce. If you're Korean or you live in Korea, please tell me, are people actually doing this? Are they actually putting rubber bands around their ears? Because I'm here to tell you, stop doing that. It's not going to depuff your face. It's not going to help with lymphatic drainage to remove fluid from the tissues back to your heart. You may be wondering, just ignore it. Why pay attention to it? But this stuff picks up so much traction and it becomes a thing where people are convinced that this is a good thing to do. And unless we talk about why it's a bad thing to do, people are going to continue to just follow things that they see on TikTok. And there is so much bad information on that app. I mean, on social media in general. Research shows that by and large, this is where people are getting their healthcare information from, is TikTok. That's what the latest research shows. People are not calling up their doctors and asking questions. Instead, they're going to TikTok. I mean, can you really blame them? Because let's face it, nowadays, healthcare is very difficult to access, no matter where you live or who you are. It's very challenging. So I understand people wanting to take matters into their own hands, educate themselves, but unfortunately, there's just so much bad information out there, and it can be very challenging to decipher what is good and what is bad. Because I have actually seen people with credentials putting out really bizarre and bad information. And so this is even more problematic than just a random influencer being like, hey guys, I'm wrapping my ears up in rubber bands. Because when it comes from like a healthcare provider, then people are more inclined to think that it is legitimately a good thing to do. All right, guys, that is about it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this trend. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.